Apparently the French people, they call it a baton. I like to call it my attitude adjuster. The very diggers are giving me a bit of cheek like that. Just give them a wee point on the head with this. When they wake up, chained to the crow tree around there, that's a jail around the side of that desk. With a £5 fine to pay, they're generally a bit more polite after that. Now the weapon I'm going to load and fire for you today is this one here. This is a standard police issue again. It's called a two-banded carbine. It's called two-banded because there's two bands on the stock holding it together. Carbine refers to the fact it's shorter than your average kind of musket. You might see the red-coated soldiers marching around today. They're carrying three-banded Enfield rifled muskets. So they've got 1, 2, 3 bands and a bit more musket, up to about here. So this again is an example of a cavalry weapon, a carbine, designed to be used off the back of a horse because it's nice and short. You keep in a holster or a bucket by your saddle, and you can quickly and easily draw that, shoot it off the back of a horse. 58 caliber, same as a pistol, smooth bore, smooth like a tube inside, fires a round like musket ball with a range of up to about 90 yards, this weapon, which sounds impressive. I'm not sure I could even see 90 yards most of the time, never mind hit a target at that range. But it's certainly reassuring to know that, and it makes a good stopper. Also has a cap lock, a percussion lock firing mechanism on here. This is a relatively new innovation. The guns were around just before this, with old flintlock guns, alright? So it's a lot more reliable, so if it's pouring with rain or so, this gun will still fire off. Now, to load this weapon, I take out my black powder flask, which contains my black powder, which is black, and it's powdery as well. I think that's why it's called that. So take a measure of black powder, pour it straight down the muzzle of the gun there. Did you see that there?
You put moldy on there.
Did you not? Like what? So take a measure of black powder. You can hear it. And the measure is just that nozzle there. Pour it straight down the muzzle end of the gun. Did you see that there? No? Right, so you take one measure of black powder, fill up to the top, pour it straight down the muzzle of the gun there, like that. You see that then?
Yeah.
Okay, right, good. Right. Now the next thing that goes in there is the wee round lead musket ball. But do you know something? I don't think I'm going to shoot a wee round lead musket ball up in the sky up over all your heads today. Nah, not after the last time. But to be fair, I'd never heard this what goes up must come down thing. Turns out it's true. And to be honest with you, something bad had happened, you know, I'd just have to explain all to the Gold Commissioner. And he would just maybe fill out loads of paperwork. I'm not a fan of paperwork at all. Now, next thing we need something to act as what we call a bit of wadding, right? So I'm just using a bit of tissue paper. Normally we'd be riding around with a dozen, 12 cartridges of ammunition, paper cartridges. So that's all your black powder, your musket ball, neatly wrapped up in a nice wee paper cartridge. So normally to load you'd take one of them out, bite off the tip, pour the contents down the barrel of the gun, use the remains of the paper cartridge for this purpose, what we call wadding. Now if you don't have any cartridges left, don't have any tissue paper lying around, you can use whatever you can find lying around for this purpose. If you're desperate, such as some dry grass, some dry leaves, bit of bark, what else, bit of cloth. In fact, you can even use horse dung for this if you're really desperate. But let me give you a word of advice, don't use it if it's too fresh. All it does makes a big mess over the end of your gun. In fact, if it's too dry, it's not much good either. If it's too old, it's not much good either. Too dry, you know, it's just all crumbly and that. If it's that in-between consistency, kind of squishy, like, you know what I mean, that way, then that's sometimes fine to use that. Then I take out this rod that I used to ram the contents down the barrel. Any idea what you call it? It's a rod that I used to ram with. It's called a ram rod. Right, take out the ram rod and ram the contents down the barrel of the gun, right? Pack it all down in there nice and tightly. And then give it a good few taps of the ram rod. Pack it all down there.
Good hand.
That'll do. Alright, one more thing you'll be pleased to hear. All I need now is something to ignite the black powder I've just poured all in there. Do that by using one of these newfangled wee contraptions here. It's called a top hat percussion cap. That's what it's called. It's called that because it looks like a wee tiny gold shiny gentleman's top hat. And the inside of the top hat percussion cap, there's a small green flash in there, which is a small amount of explosive primer. You take a percussion cap, stick onto this part of the gun here, which is known as the breech nipple of the gun, which essentially is a tube that leads from the cap to all the black powder I just poured in there. Take a percussion cap, stick on the nipple of the gun, push it on with your thumb. Now when I pull this trigger, this hammer here is going to snap back, hit the percussion cap, that's going to cause a small explosion to occur. It's going to travel down that tube and ignite the black powder and the gun goes bang, hopefully. Now, That's this weapon now loaded and ready to fire. Before I do fire it though, let me give you all a wee bit of a gentle warning. Now the noise emanating from this weapon is going to be what you could say rather voluminous in nature. So if any of you have a particularly nervous disposition, I would urge you please take your digits and put them firmly but gently inside your auricular orifices, please. So stick your fingers in your ears. It's got to be blooming loud. All you take a step back down from there. If you've any small children and or babies with you, make sure their ears are covered. I might start screaming in a second and it won't be my fault, so I've warned you all now. All right, put your fingers in your ears. Firing a weapon here. In 3, 2, 1.
Not that loud.
And that's how you load and fire a musket. Thanks for your time, everybody.